Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats, talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. All right, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Bum 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 bum
Bum bum. Hello, everybody. Welcome in to Fire and Bloom, a House of the Dragon podcast presented by us, the Penny Bloom Podcast. It is I, Colton Robertson, and I am joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. We've got, in a 10-episode season, episode 9 of Game of Thrones is notoriously a banger.
Mm.
And I think we have nothing short of a banger here. It was, again, a great, great episode of television. The Green Council, directed by Claire Kilner. It was a fucking goodie. How you feeling?
Oh, I was, before the episode, I'm like, okay, the penultimate episode. I'm expecting at least something to happen, either to set up for some major event or something big to happen in this episode, and I was not disappointed whatsoever. This I don't know. I think I'm curious on how I feel as to everything leading up to the big moment, basically. Because I'm very high on the hype of what happened and everything like that. But like, as far as the episodes that we have been getting before this, I don't know if the entire episode stacks up to that level.
That's what's interesting is that, like, Trenton texts me, and Trenton joined us for the Love and Thunder podcast a few weeks back. For listeners who aren't familiar with Trenton, he's a fond friend of ours. He's not worried about spoilers for the show. He doesn't watch it on Sunday nights. He gets it on Monday, and every Sunday at about 10 p.m., 9:30 p.m., he texts me, how was this week's episode? And so I had to articulate for him that I thought it was fucking great. And he goes, best of the season? I go, no, probably not, but it was fucking great. And he was like, why? Like, what happened? It feels like every week it's been the best of the fucking season. And I was like, yeah, when you don't have Daemon and Rhaenyra, I'm probably not gonna like the episode quite as much, because this episode is pretty much nothing but characters I don't like. So, like, there's only so much I can get out of it. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, it was still beautifully done and still wonderfully written, and like the visuals were astounding. Claire Kilner kills this shit. And the character work with, like, Alicent specifically, I was like, oh, I'm back around. I'm back around.
That's the thing about Alicent, man, is that she, for us, she has gone from, we've defended her from the blind hate that we thought was blind hate, but really was people that actually, preemptive hate, and then we actually hated her, and then now I'm kind of like, maybe she's the most sane one here now, Yeah. She did call to cut out a kid's eye last episode, or a couple episodes back.
It was in the heat of the moment from, like, her kid's eye got cut out.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to defend her. It's an insane thing to say that we should cut out a kid's eye as punishment, but
and she totally knows Viserys did not mean their Aegon. Like, she knows.
Well, that's the thing about this episode, man.
I
don't know that she does. I think it's a reach. I think that she knows it's like like, oh, it's what he could have meant. Like, I don't think it is like, she's like, oh, for fucking sure that's what he said, you know, because she even
I think,
explains it in a
okay,
different
true.
way.
I guess maybe throughout this episode, she's losing her confidence in it after everyone has told her, like, no fucking way would
Even
he say that.
Even
Yeah.
Egon's like, there's just no fucking way. They're like, that didn't happen.
Okay. So maybe, okay, that's fair. Because
Well,
she actually was distraught, like that Viserys, like, she was like a wreck. And I don't know if it was because Viserys was dead, or if like, it's just everything's becoming real now.
yeah.
You know, like,
it's a little bit of everything, you know. It is the father of her children are gone. While she didn't love Viserys, I think there's little to no doubt that there was only one person in her life that ever kind of treated her with respect. And it was Viserys. But I mean, like, and even then, he didn't treat her with a ton of respect, you know, like, oh, it's awfully late. He wants me to come by. Yeah, he does. But like, that's the thing, is that in a world where she is treated with such little respect, even an ounce of that from Viserys, and at least the beginning of their relationship was something that was a little bit more happy, you know, just the way strife led them down the road. And I mean, like, especially coming off the dinner the night before, like, it was for sure, like, they were coming together, you know, like, everything was seemingly going to be fine. And then it was like, there couldn't have been a worse time for him to die. And I think it's kind of like a combination of like, fuck, so this shit's really going to happen, huh? You know, like, but are you ready for a scene by scene breakdown of this week's House of the Dragon?
I'm gonna need it, actually.
Then let's get into it. We start, and it's the middle of the night in the Red Keep, and we get some somber shots of empty rooms all over the Red Keep. Just some beautiful, like, symbolism that without Viserys the Peaceful, the Red Keep is kind of hollow, empty. It's sorrowful. It's not the same as it was before.
Is it just automatic that if there's no war during your reign that you're peaceful, or was he given the name like peaceful? Like Viserys
he was
the
dubbed
Peaceful?
Viserys the Peaceful. I don't think there is another blank the Peaceful. And I was like, that's hard. I love that.
Yeah, no, that was sick.
And he deserved that. You know, like, that's how he deserves to be remembered. Because that's what his goal was his entire time, is that, like, he just wanted to continue Jaehaerys's reign of peace. And, you know, he kind of led us down a path that will lead to war, but it didn't start with him alive, you know? So, here. Viserys
even, forgot. Good old Viserys's thing in the intro. His thing went in blood this episode. And I was just like, oh, like, I knew it was coming, you know, I fully knew. But like, and then I'm watching it and I'm like, I'm still like kind of confused as to who's who, sort of like still in like following it. But
Emily,
then
after
like,
you were watching it last night, Emily was like, can you tell me who everyone is? And I was like, I'll try my fucking best.
Dude, but and there's, once it gets down to like Rhaenyra and Daemon, or Rhaenyra and like, just Rhaenyra.
Kids and like,
it's like, oh, dude, it just keeps going. But yeah, no, it was cool. I don't know. It's cool to see that this thing's just kind of updating as the show goes on. I mean, we knew it kind of would from Game of Thrones and how that happened, but this one's pretty literal. Yeah, it's just a family tree. But anyway,
but so nevertheless, Alicent is informed of the news of the king's passing via Talia, who we know from last week as being a spy of Missaria, the White Worm, as she has become known. And you know, this was a good scene for Olivia Cook as Alicent. You know, the like, are you sure? like definitely, he's dead. and the way she breaks down and dresses and then runs straight to Otto, lets him know he told me he wants Aegon to be king. And I gotta say, it's a reach, but I truly think, because the way she talks the rest of the episode in defense of Rhaenyra and stuff, like, I don't know if it's like she's trying to have her cake and eat it too, where she's just trying to play both sides. She's like, yes, obviously I'd prefer my son on the throne, but also I don't want Rhaenyra hurt. But she seems reluctant, like, the whole time. Like, I think, because she, on multiple occasions, is like, it doesn't matter what you think. This is what he said. I'm going to honor it. You know, like,
I think it's kind of like, she doesn't fully believe in it, but she has to convince herself otherwise. Because, like, this is what everything will, like, the realm is shaped off of this sentence, this one sentence that Viserys said here.
And the way, whenever she says this, the way Otto goes, like, he, like, perks up and, like, looks at her like, yeah?
Really?
Did he say that? And, she's like, yeah, fucking A. I know how this sounds. Like, I'm well aware of the implications of me being the only witness who heard it. But it's what happened, like, so I truly do believe it is what she thinks he meant. I do think it's a reach regardless, but I do think it is what she thinks. But
okay.
Upon this informing, they decide to call the small council together and let everybody know what the fuck going on. What little fucking Tywin Lannister walking in. What's so important that it had to call me away? In the middle of the night, it couldn't wait till morning. Haha, did the Dornish strike again? The king's dead, asshole. Ooh.
Yeah. Fuck him, but the little ball roll to the end of the table catch
that was hard
on the thing. It went hard. But fuck that guy still.
Yeah, fuck the Lannisters, but that shit was a beautiful shot too. Like, that was gorgeous.
And I love how, like, right after he says, like, the king is dead and, like, whatever, Otto is like, all right, let's get to business. Like, they're just like, we knew this was coming. We gotta go now. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, and what's crazy is he stands up and he goes, Viserys has left us a gift. With his last breath, he impressed upon the queen his final wish, that his son Aegon should succeed him as the Lord of the Seven Kingdoms. Everyone sits back like, man. And then someone goes, well, I guess we can do everything we wanted anyway, huh?
Yeah! Nuts!
I was like, oh, shit. And even Allison starts looking around like, hold the fucking phone. What the fuck? Y'all have been planning shit behind my back without me well aware? And they're like, well, Queen, it seems that these matters, like, obviously we wanted you to be less aware of them. It doesn't implicate you as much. It's all good. And the Lord,
doesn't it though?
Yeah, it feels very much her business. But,
like, what was the point of keeping her out? Because, like, they thought that she would actually tell Viserys, or like maybe tell Rhaenyra.
Yeah, I think it's clear that.
I guess Otto does say, like, past young.
Yeah, companion. Like, is it for your past husband, or for your former childhood companion?
Yeah, dude, they had a thing.
Yeah, very, very important, like, phrasing there. It wasn't like childhood friend. He said childhood companion.
I called that, dude. Episode 1. I said, dude, there is something there. I don't know.
Sure, there was no doubt. But I'm curious about that, like, choice, because that's something I've noticed with this show and, like, the writers, the way they talk about the actors in it, is that the way these characters are written is one thing. The way the actors choose to perform it is another. Like, there's a relatively good chance Rhaenyra and Alicent didn't. There's nothing in the script besides this line your childhood companion, and that's not even fucking foolproof, you know, that like that would tell us they had a romantic attachment in any way.
Mm,
It is literally only the way that
true.
Millie Alcock and Emily Carey decided to play it when they were younger. And like looking at like behind the scenes interviews and stuff, the chemistry Emma Darcy and Olivia Cook has is fucking nuts. Like
Mm.
they almost seem romantic already. So like
Mm.
I'd be, and like the fact that they shot like the later episodes first, like they shot episode 7 first, I think, if I remember correctly. It was like the first episode they shot. So like I wonder if Millie Alcock and Emily Carey got a chance to like spend time with Emma Darcy and Olivia Cook, realized, oh, they can't help but have chemistry on screen together. Let's go ahead and steer into that.
Yeah, I saw Olivia Cook and Emma Darcy. They were both asked to describe the show in 3 words.
Yes.
And they both said too many men.
Yeah.
Which is just, I don't know, that's
A
pretty funny.
Negroni.
And I think
with Prosecco in it.
like there's kind of more to that though. Like I think like it's legitimately steering that way. Like
oh, it definitely is.
As far as like what I guess I don't want to jump the gun too much because that's I don't know. But I think like what Allison is realizing here in this episode is that like men have been taking advantage of her and she's never thought to use the power she has for herself truly. And Rhaenys kind of, you know, wakes her up in that. And I don't know, I don't know, that's the thing though, is that like in the history books, Cersei Lannister is the first queen. So it makes sense, you know, Aegon is king here. Like, do you think like, is there a possibility that Alicent actually like sits the Iron Throne? Or do you think that like it's more of we rule through them?
I don't think Alicent's going to touch that. And I think this episode kind of hammered that home. Like the conversation her and Rhaenys have later on is absolutely crucial, especially since it's like almost immediately followed by Lord Larys beating his dick to Alicent's feet. Like I think it just further hammered home that, and this is something we talked about in the first episode of our podcast, because I was like, coming up on these last couple episodes, I wanted to revisit our older podcasts early on in the show just to see like how stuff has shaped out for us, how our predictions have fared, and like some great, others fucking awful. But so like something we said early on is that it does seem like there was a romantic attachment between Alicent and Rhaenyra. However, it seemed like Alicent was much more duty bound, and her idea was to serve the realm. Meanwhile, Rhaenyra was much more likely to be willing to act on it. And I think Alicent I think she's set in her ways. I don't think she has any intention of breaking that sort of like, I serve the realm, you know, like I don't, the power is not for me to grab. It just never has been. It'll only cause, like, I truly think she thinks it will only cause more strife, and there's no reason to further the pain the realm is going through.
Yeah, no, she definitely wins the performance of this episode, like without a doubt. Like I don't think there's anyone that comes close.
I couldn't confidently give you a single performance. That the only one that I thought like maybe, but even so didn't quite hit as hard as Olivia Cook this week was Ewan Mitchell as Aemond. I thought he did really good. But let's push forth. At the small council meeting, Lord Lyman Beesbury was not exactly tied into these plans. He stands up and is quite upset about this plot. You know, it's treason. It's not, I don't know. It's, oh, he died last night. Could have been any one of you. Fucking assholes. Committed some regicide out here. And Kristen Cole calmly walks up behind him, goes ahead and throws his ass down, and I think we found our purpose for the marbles.
You think that's the sole purpose of them? Is
I
just to
think that's
have
the
a
only
way to
reason-
kill them?
No,
Like,
I think that's the
eventually?
only reason the show has used them.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's why they have them on the council. I think
Oh,
we've
no.
seen
Oh, yeah.
we've seen them all season not be used, and I think that if this dude's pretty fucking old. He probably hits his head on the table and dies anyway with that sort of force. But the marble causes a blunt impact that actually penetrates his skull, which is it was hard to watch. It crushes his temple, and he's dead instantly. And they're like, "Oh shit! All right, yeah, that guy's dead." And Sir Harold immediately pulls up, draws his sword, demands Kristen remove your cape and your weapon. You're no longer Kingsguard. That shit can't happen. And Kristen goes ahead, raises his own blade. He says, "Yeah, man, I'm not going to let Alicent get talked shit on. That's just not some shit I'm going to do." And then Alicent's like, "All right, come on now, Kristen." And they both just sheath steel immediately. And they're like, "All right." The Maester's like, "All right, can we dispose of his body, please? Can we get him out of here?" And Otto's like, "No, that door remains shut until we finish our business."
Damn.
I was like, "Oh wow!" Everyone sits there. Beesbury's broken skull sitting right there. Tywin Lannister, the way he got up out of his seat and ran away, and then he had to come waltzing right back up and sit down, and was just like, "Oh right." But Otto says that Rhaenyra and her family will be given the opportunity to publicly swear fealty to Aegon, and that they'll have to be imprisoned in order to keep them from garnering more supporters. And Alicent's like, "Yeah, but Rhaenyra won't do that. For sure she won't bend the knee. So what I'm hearing is that you plan to kill them." She rises, angry as fuck, states that the king might have demanded that Aegon ascend the throne, but he did not command that his daughter die. That's not what he wanted. And Tywin Lannister asks, "What should we do instead then?" And Alicent's like, "I don't really have an answer for you there." So Otto goes ahead and takes up the mantle, commands Sir Harold to take his knights to Dragonstone, quote, "Be quick and be clean." And instantly,
dude.
"Nah, I can't do that shit. None of you are the king. I'm the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. We have no king. Until we do, I don't have a place here. I'm not going to follow any of you." And
him on the throne.
Give Sir Harold West in a series just full of dishonorable fucks. Thank God we have a Sir Harold, because my God, I would have been so pressed if he was like, "It is my duty. I must go." I'd have been like, "Fuck, bro," because it's the very first scene with Rhaenyra. It's Harold and Alicent who greet her. It's like this dude's watched Rhaenyra grow up. He has been there for Viserys basically his whole reign. No, I'm not gonna do that. And I appreciated the fuck out of that, but
yeah, he leaves and it just focuses on Kristen's face, and he I don't know, he smugs, knowing that I don't know, it's just God. Kristen just what a switch up on a character. One that I was ride or die for at the beginning. I was
incredibly well done.
Yeah, wow. I'm like, oh, this man is the next Jon Snow. He's being good. Let's go. Him and Rhaenyra hooking up. It was cute. What a moment. Now, I am boiling. It's just his appearance on screen.
See him, and I'm like, somebody kill this motherfucker. He doesn't even have to do anything. I'm like, can someone just come up behind him and stab his ass? I don't even care. Fuck honor now, bro. Kill this guy.
Off screen too would be the best.
Oh man, if they were
just he fell off a horse, broke his neck.
Yeah.
Oh God, that'd be the best.
That'd be so fucking good. But next thing we know, Otto has gathered those who swore loyalty to Rhaenyra over 20 years ago, and tells them now that they will have to vow their support to the new King Aegon. And most go ahead and do it. They're like, yeah, sure, fuck yeah. I have no issue with that. That sounds good. But there are some who do not, some who are hesitant. And I love that they were like, the one lady lord is like, no. Like, no, that's not how we're going to play this. Fuck no. I'll die. I'll do that. I'll die for this.
They know full well. That's nuts. Like,
well, and he even, like, one of them tries to turn around and walk away. Like, I will not do this. I'll return. I have to confer with my house about it. Like,
I won't die today. I know my answer. That's I mean, like, it's his way of being like, no.
Well, and then Otto just goes, I got news for you, buddy. You don't get to leave until you swear fealty. And it's like, oh, okay. I don't think this is allowed. I straight up, like, no authority here. Otto's not even technically the hand of the king right now because the king's dead. He's just a dude.
So is Alicent, who is in power right now?
I mean, I guess technically until there is a next king, he probably is still hand of the king. And
would it make sense for the hand to take the place, or would it be Alicent taking the place of Viserys until?
I think it's kind of a gray area. I think that's why both of them are able to go and give commands, and they're like, people are like, "Yep, I have to answer to you." You know, like I think they're both just so high up that like,
true.
They both get to order people around, and
they're doing it in kind of an intimidating way as well.
Yeah,
they're like,
and that's the thing with Otto here is that I don't think any authority grants you the ability to kill high lords if they don't swear fealty. Like, I just don't think that's
technically treason. Technically, because if Viserys said to be true that he wants Aegon to be king, and people are not being okay with that is treason, and they could kill him for it. So they're just using it they're using like in their that's why they knew they were dead if they said no, because they knew it was treason. But in our minds, we know that that's not what Viserys really.
That's fair. Says. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. They're definitely using that as a crux. But Larys Strong watches on. That little kinky fuck literally killed his family for some feet. Later, after he turns in a lord who'd hesitated to swear fealty and then tried to escape very quickly.
You remember that one episode where he was staring at her really awkwardly? We were like, why was he staring at her like that? You know? Why is he looking at her like that? God damn it, man. Now we know.
He was like, he's been staring at you since we fucking got here. Like, it's been a lot. And she's like, it's the look of a man who is proud of his new ascension to Lord of Harrenhal.
Is it a coincidence that he has a boot and a fucked up foot?
No, that's a psychological thing. That he's got going on there.
Like, for one, is the foot real? Is the fucked up foot real? I still think it's a ploy. I still think it's fake.
This episode sealed for me that it's definitely real.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's there's some sort of weird psychological thing at play with the fetish being feet, because one of his doesn't work.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. But like, I see it more as like, all right, he has a fetish for feet, and he's a sneaky, conniving, manipulating boy. So what's he gonna do? He's gonna put his foot in like a cage, because maybe he's into that. You know, he's into the women's feet. That's like a turn on for him. But like,
but if he like locks up his feet, it's like, oh
yeah, you know, whatever. Sure, not my cup of tea, but whatever. But
yeah, because, like I don't have any hate towards people with foot fetishes. Like you can be into whatever you're into. Just don't murder your father and brother for feet. That's kind of where I'm like, oh. And also, just everything about this is icky.
Mm.
The funniest thing to me, though, is that everyone online who is like, fuck yeah, Damon and Rhaenyra is like, oh my god, you disgusting fuck. Like, come on, dude. Come on, dude. Okay, so we're gonna be like, incest. Yeah. Foot fetish. Ugh. Like, all right, guys, come on now. I think we got a little bit of a weird thing going on in the fandom, sexually.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird, like, to put this in the show. Like, it feels very Quentin Tarantino, you know, like, putting feet in the camera, you know? Yeah. It feels very, like...
Well, and here's the thing, too, is that, like, we got, like... We'll get to it a little bit later, but like I guess we should probably just go ahead and get it out of the way now. Like the moment she like takes her feet out of her shoes and she's still got her stockings on and she just like puts them up on the table, I like my eyebrows shot up like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I was like, hold the fuck up. I was like, wait a fucking minute. Then he gives her some information. She asks a question, takes off her stocking. I went, no. And that's the thing, is that like that was enough to like let me know what was going on here.
Yeah.
To continue the scene and like show him put his hand in his pants and start beating off, I was like, man, we're really going full Game of Thrones with this episode, huh? Like this is
You know, I never really thought about how it works before. Like, is it really you just look at him?
I mean, I'm assuming it depends foot fetish to foot fetish. It's like you know, I don't think it's like surefire all in every way.
There's probably a spectrum to foot fetish.
You know, like it's like, oh, the extreme side is just like, even if I get the slightest glimpse of a foot, I'm going to be rock hard. And like, I feel like the other end of the spectrum is like,
wow.
Oh, it's got to touch me.
What a plot line in a TV show that we are talking about right now.
That was my thing, bro. I immediately looked at Emily. I went, for feet?
Yeah.
He's done this for feet?
Yep.
I couldn't believe it.
I guess, you know, if I'm going to put my mind in the mindset of someone with a foot fetish, probably the queen would be the ultimate, like...
Oh, yeah. Like, fair. He's living good. You know, like, my thing is like, there's a lot going on here. I have more of a problem with the fact that Alicent's like very clearly not into it. It's kind of like a coercion that's like for information, but like she knows what the cost of the information is, but it's still like here's the thing. If she doesn't do it, it's not like Larys is going to kill her or anything. He'll just stop giving her information.
Mm-hmm.
She needs that information. It's an exchange, but it's a fucking weird one. It's a fucking weird one.
Who is the hooded figure that walks away from the burning building in this episode? A little later on. That is like, I am holding on to this boot boy. It's not. I don't know. It's everything's a play for him. Everything. He's the playmaster, you know, and it's like a Prestige, you know, like the Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale movie where like he's a twin the whole time, and it's like, wow, there's two people the whole time. It's like he's a magician, he's been playing his role his whole life, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I have a feeling that he's like, I don't know.
I don't know, man. But nevertheless, Larys lets Otto know that his time in the Queen's company also might benefit the hand of the king. The time of the foot of the Queen might benefit the hand of the king. But we move on, and there's another problem. No one knows where Aegon is. So Otto sends for Eric to go look after him. The twins, both named Eric, but with a different letter at the beginning. It's fucking dandy. And I also
easy for the parents, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Eric. They both can answer. But I loved the scene where Alicent comes up to the room and asks, looks for Aegon, finds Helena, and she's like, where's Aegon? And she's like, not here. And am I reading this right? Do Aegon and Helena already have 2 kids?
I think it's Aegon and Aemon. Or
Aemon and Helena.
Hold on there. No, Helena and Aemon.
I think you're probably right too.
But I guess maybe one of them could be Aegon's. If I don't know, they immediately just got to it right when they were, betrothed, whatever. But I don't know. I feel there's a strong connection between Aemon and Helena.
Oh, for sure. But yeah. So, and I loved that. Like, she came in and she was like, "Your father, he's the king." And she goes, "No, but the beast beneath the boards, like, no. Like, she's like, people are going to die because of this." And Alicent consoles her, but then Aemond walks in along with Kristen, and Alicent informs Kristen of the plan. She asks him to locate Aegon, bring him to her, no one else, as Otto also instructed Eric to bring Aegon to him, no one else. So it's a fun little thriller race against time sort of thing that we've got going on here, which was really, really entertaining. What's funny is, like, for an episode where I was like, I missed Daemon and Rhaenyra, I didn't find myself during the episode going, like, I found myself going like, oh, I don't want to go to Daemon and Rhaenyra right now. Like the way they had this story paced was so perfect that if they would have cut away to something else, it would have kind of fucked up the pacing of the episode. I think they handled this perfectly.
Yeah, it took me a while into the episode. I'd say probably like 70-80% the way through to finally realize, like, oh my God, like, Rhaenyra and Daemon have not been in this episode. And then, like, I realized, I'm like, oh, like, I've been completely cool with it.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I've been, even though, like, I would love them in the episode, like, it was working without them.
Oh, 100%. What's more here is that Aemond goes on with Kristen's, like, yeah, Eric is not the only one who knows of Aegon's doings. Let me go with Kristen, he needs me. And they're like, all right, fine. Hood up, do your thing. But meanwhile, we see Rhaenys get locked up in her quarters with no explanation. And Talia and a bunch of other servants detained in the dungeon. So it was just kind of like, wow, yeah, they're really cooing this shit, huh?
Yep. Yeah, you're not okay with Aegon? King's justice. Have some justice served to you.
Right.
By getting your head chopped off real quick. Or hanged, sorry. It's always a weird one.
Yeah, I hear hung a lot too, though, these days. Like, I don't know.
I think it's socially hung, but grammatically hanged.
It's fucking icky. But Kristen and Aemond head on down to the Street of Silk, where the owner of the establishment lets them know. And Kristen, come on now, Kristen. It's supposed to be a secret who you're looking for. You immediately go up to someone and go, yeah, we're looking for the Prince Aegon. I'm sorry, dude. How about you fuck right off? You're terrible at your job. Dude was... she's like, Aegon hasn't been here in fucking years. And I was like, well, there you go, Aemond. The fuck do you know about your brother, huh? He's like, well, he took me here years ago. When I turned 13, told me he wanted me to get my dick wet. Said it was time.
I guess I thought that he just stayed at this one whorehouse forever,
Yeah, he moved on to bigger and worse things. He tells him that Aegon's tastes tend to be, quote, less discriminating. And once Kristen heads off, the matron of this establishment looks at Aemond and goes, "My, how you've grown." And,
the
matron. But Aemond's like and walks away. Aemond and MILFs, man. Aemon and MILFs, but Aemon talks to Kristen a little bit longer after this. He makes it clear that, he's like, it's bullshit, Aegon is handed all this shit when I'm the one who studies histories. I'm the one who trains in philosophy with weapons and rides the biggest dragon in the world. I'm the one who should be. And the way he was like, all right, well, if I say that, you're like, and this dude's loyal to Alicent. Alicent has chosen Aegon. Like, he can't quite say that. And Kristen's like, oh, and not to mention the fact that whenever they pulled up to this, the establishment, and he was like, he told me it was time for me to get it wet. Kristen was like, oh, women are all reflections of the mother and they're all to be treated with respect and kindness. I literally out loud and went, okay, you spoiled cunt. But, I was like, fuck this dude. But,
Aemon's right though.
Oh, 100%.
Like, and if those kids are his, he's even more right. Cause he already has his heirs. And
Aegon's got bastards all over the city, as we find out.
Like, this episode, the more and more it went on, I'm like, okay, before back in like the Green Wedding, it was like Alicent versus Rhaenyra, who's on whose side. But now it's like
Aemon v. Aegon v. Jacaerys.
Everyone's by themselves, kind of right now. Mm-hmm. Like, even though Rhaenys is going off to Dragonstone to warn Rhaenyra, like, she still has a play on her own too. Yeah, if she wants to be like, you know what, maybe I want to try to put Alicent up on the throne, or have her be puppeteering whoever is on the throne, and I do want Driftmark now, or maybe I want the fucking throne, or like, and Aemon is going to be like, fuck Aegon, I want this shit, I have Vhagar, I fight, I kill. Yeah, it's like, the only thing that can take down the House of the Dragon is itself. So, like, it makes perfect sense that, like, it's just going to be an all-out civil war. Well, but not even civil war, it's just like, I don't know, it's more of a free-for-all.
It's so funny that, like, Aegon and Aemond are, like, actually Targaryens, like, their dad is Viserys, there's no doubt about that. Like, they are Targaryens. But, like, I view them as Targaryens the way I viewed Joffrey as a Baratheon.
Yeah.
Like,
they are way more Hightower than Targaryen.
Like, Joffrey was a Lannister, like, that was was the thing, is that, like, that's kind of the vibe I get off them. But,
Aegon, well, I don't know. I see Aemond as a Targaryen.
I do too. Like, that's the thing. And Helena, like, Aegon's the only one where I'm like, this guy can just fuck right off all the way to hell. But, yeah, nevertheless, while they're searching, so too are Eric and Eric, who wind up in an establishment that forces children to fight to the death.
Dude.
File their teeth, sharpen their nails. I was like, oh, we're getting some dark side of Westeros here, huh?
Yeah, like, what? And I mean, it is a plot line, like a through line later. I thought it was just like, oh, Aegon comes here. Like, look at how much of a piece of shit he is. And I'm like,
that's
why? Why show this?
Well, and what sucks too is that since Aegon's the king, that shit that she lauded for, he's a patron of this establishment. He goes here. He's going to be like, Otto's going to be like, oh, and by the way, in exchange for the information to find you, it was said that we might look into the disbanding of the establishments that make children fight each other. And he's going to be like, fuck no, I love that place. And that's going to be that. So that really blows. But
I forgot he's the king.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, oh, wait, I can do whatever I want
we're
now.
We're going to start hosting those fights in the Dragon Pit.
Oh, fuck, he's actually gonna be a piece of shit king. He's actually gonna be like, I don't know.
And the most alarm, like, we'll get there. We'll get there. I don't want to blow my load here, but they note a platinum blonde child sitting in the corner over there. It's Aegon's bastard. Eric's like, yeah, check that shit out. I'd wager it's not the only one in the city. And, eventually a young woman approaches them. And what I liked about this scene is it showed that one of the Erics is far more loyal to his duty, while the other is like, Aegon cannot be king. he can't. Like, that's something I've been in his service for fucking years. Absolutely not can that guy become the king of the realm. And the other one's like, oh, it can't be that bad. And it's like, you don't fucking know, bro. But, eventually a young woman approaches them, says she knows someone who can lead them to Aegon for a price. And that someone turns out to be Missaria, whom Otto greets as, you must be the White Worm, when he meets her in town. And he's taken aback when she goes, I'm sorry about the passing of your king. And he goes, okay, yeah, go ahead and pay her. Let's go ahead and get this shit on the road. If she knows that, she knows where Aegon is. We have not let that shit come out of the Red Keep. It's nuts that she knows this. So
it was instant. It was like, sorry for the passing of the king, and then
he goes,
Otto went immediately like, oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead and pay her.
Fuck. He's like, fuck, shit.
Yeah. In exchange for some info on Aegon's whereabouts, she demands an end to the savage use of children in Flea Bottom. And apparently the gold... Yeah, Missaria. I was like, okay, Missaria. This is the Viserys. Or not Viserys, Varys. Varys in Game of Thrones. That's who she is. The way she says, like, you will not... The only thing that is allowed to the people up there is what's allowed by the people. I was like, okay, Missaria, I fucks with you, dog.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah. They were both like playing off each other very well. Like, they were both intimidating each other. Like, Missaria was like, all your power comes from the people, so like, if you think you have power, like, we can take it away at any time. And then Otto, like, saying, like, Missaria being like, you better remember who did this for you. And he's like, oh, I will. Like, I will remember.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you worry.
Well, and I love that they've met before. They met on the bridge whenever he went down to Dragonstone to try and
Did they actually talk though, or did he?
No,
just
they
see
didn't
her?
talk. But he was standing by Daemon, and Otto was standing. She was standing by Daemon, and he was standing across from him. Daemon declared that he was going to take Missaria as a wife, that they were having a kid and stuff. He's like he meets her and is like, "Oh shit, you're the White Worm. That's kind of nuts."
Yeah, he's actually kind of like proud. It's kind of like, oh, another one in the business, like another.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I see.
Man, then you got a cool name too. I don't got a name. I'm just a hand. I'm Otto.
Right. The White Worm. That's fucking dope. But Eric and Eric follow Missaria's intel and locate Aegon, who is under the altar in the sept. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? And also, why does Missaria know he's here?
Was it planned? Like, that he was just gonna hide here?
Is this just where he hides? Like, whenever he's got, like... I don't want to be found. I'm gonna go lay under this altar in the sept?
Like, he knows... He probably, like, heard, okay, Viserys is dead. Fuck, that means I'm gonna be king now.
I don't think he did.
Well, no, wait, so he was just doing this? He gets informed
here. He just does this.
You're right. Yeah, what the fuck? What was he doing?
This is just something he does. But they go ahead and haul him out. I love that Eric keeps tackling him. Like, he tries to run away and he keeps getting taken down, and he's like, it's so funny. But they haul him outside and they run straight into Kristen and Aemond, and blades are drawn. And what was so effective about this scene is that I like Eric and Eric more than I like Kristen and Aemond, but I so badly wanted Kristen and Aemond to win this interaction.
Yeah.
That was the best thing about this scene, is that I was like, the way that even, like, that's just such a small example of the way this show plays with, like, who you root for. Like, I don't like Kristen. I like Eric. I want Kristen to win here, though. Which is, that's just so fucking cool. And I like that the Eric that doesn't want Aegon to be king goes ahead and goes, I'll let him fend for himself down there, bro. That ain't me. I'm not going to fight for this shit.
Seems like they're fighting down there. That's interesting. I think no, he doesn't. I don't think he yells brother. I think Aegon's the one that yells brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of it's kind of nuts that like the Eric down there fighting wasn't like, yo, why aren't you fucking down here? You know, like wasn't kind of like looking up at him. I'm surprised that they didn't like show that, but
right. But nevertheless, eventually Aemon gets the best of his brother, kicking and screaming like a child. I'm not meant to rule. I'm not built for that. That's not what that's like, I should just not do that. That's not something I should do. Aegon begs Aemon, let me go. I'll never come back.
He's
like I will hop on a boat and you'll never see me again. And Aemon's like, fucking A, man. If I could have just found you myself, you'd be gone. Yeah. You'd be gone, bro.
He said he was spitting every word he wanted to hear. Like, I'm not fit to rule. I don't want to rule.
And
you know,
Kristen,
like blah, blah,
Kristen pulls up and that's it. You know, Kristen goes, all right, come on. And it's like, fuck. But then Kristen announces that Alicent is waiting. He's like, the queen is waiting. Come on now. And it was like, damn, bruh. Fucking A, bruh. But after Viserys' body becomes the Viserys burrito, he is prepared for burial. Alicent visits an irate Rhaenys in her quarters. She is pissed. Yo, what the fuck is this? I've been locked up all day with no explanation. I see people rushing around and shit. What the hell's going on? And then she goes, you are usurping the throne. The king, my cousin, he's dead. And, Alicent makes a hard sell for her to come on and join the force back Aegon. And she butters Rhaenys up saying, you should have been queen. By blood and by temperament, Viserys should have been a country lord, just living out his days, studying his histories, and frankly, God, how easy things would have been. I just wish for both of them that they would have gotten what they wanted then. Like, Rhaenys should have been queen, and Viserys should never have been.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It sucks that things shook out the way they did.
Kind of like, not in the sense of Aegon, but kind of the best king or queen is one that usually doesn't want it in the first place. I guess I'm not saying Rhaenys would be a bad queen or a bad ruler, but Viserys' time was peaceful. He was dubbed Viserys the Peaceful. True. I don't know.
I just meant for like Viserys' well-being.
You're right. He would have rather just.
If he could have just lived his days out with Emma, because at that point he's not trying to produce heirs with Emma.
Right.
Him and Emma get to live out their days together. It would have been just like, it would have been much happier living for everybody involved.
Man.
And then like Laenor would become king, and then it would have just been a whole different fucking line of succession.
Oh wow. Here. Yeah.
But nevertheless, she draws on their commonality. My cousin, we do not rule, but we may guide the men that do, gently away from violence and sure destruction, and instead toward peace. And Rhaenys is like, oh, okay, so you locked me up in here in the name of peace. That's what this is. And Alicent, she calls Alicent wiser than she was expecting, and she asks, have you never imagined yourself on the Iron Throne? And the queen doesn't answer. And then she goes ahead and leaves, telling her,
I'll leave you to your thoughts.
And she says, ring the bell when you've come to your decision.
Uh-oh.
The bells, man. They keep coming up. And it's later on when she's in an alley and she sees the bells ringing above the dragon pit that she smiles and goes, oh, I know exactly what I'm about to do.
Oh, I didn't even put that together. Oh, that's sick.
The way that
I wonder why she looked up
Targaryens,
there.
And it's
You're right. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's
fucking
sick.
Love it. But following Aegon's capture and with him squarely in his mother's grasp, Alicent informs Otto that she's going to offer Rhaenyra terms that she can accept without shame or bodily injury. If she lives, her allies will mass behind her banners looking for her return. He tells her like they will gather behind her, and the queen just doesn't give a shit. She's I'm good. Instead, she rattles off the details of the ascension. Sir Criston will become Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. Aegon will be anointed at dawn. It will be with all of King's Landing watching, and he'll wear Aegon the Conqueror's crown, carry black fire as his sword, and he will also take on the name Aegon the Conqueror. And then she marches out, and then he goes, "As you wish." And I was like, man, like the scenes in this episode were fucking good. Like that might have been like a subtly one of my favorite acting moments from Rhys Ifans as Otto Hightower. The way that like the way he's just like, yeah, like you won this one, you know, like when he's like, well played, and she's like, it's not a game. He's like, you play it like it is.
Oh.
You know, like, I was like, ooh, this was just such a well written and well acted scene.
They got heated, you know, and he was like, not one king has not had to sacrifice the lives of a few to, you know,
save the many.
But yeah, no, it was cool whenever she walked out, and he was just kind of like, all right, like, fuck, okay, like, you won, you know, like, good on you, touche.
Yeah. But she returns to her quarters to take a nice little breather and is not too excited to find Larys waiting for her with a query. How do you suppose Otto found Aegon before you did? There is a web of spies in the Red Keep. Along its threads travel news of all our doings. Your father knows this and has left it in place. And she takes off her shoes, puts her feet up on the table as he's talking. She asks for names on those web, and he pauses. And she goes ahead and removes her pantyhose and shows him her bare feet, which he stares at with no shortage of horny. The man's horny. And I was like, aha!
Okay. I'm kind of going crazy right now because I have like the episode pulled up here, and he has his boot on his left leg right now. I could have sworn it was on his right leg, and like the Hunt episode, whenever he's walking around like, I don't, bro. They focus on it every time he walks too. Like they make they zoom in on it.
Well,
like,
and he's also made the point like nobody pays attention. Like the first time he popped up, he was like, nobody pays attention to me, so I bet I might as well steer into that.
Okay, it's on his right foot right now. It's on his right foot.
I feel like it's always been on his right foot.
Right. Yeah, it's on his right foot. Okay. Sorry.
Nevertheless, Larys says her handmaiden, Talia, is one of the little spiders, and that there are more like her. He suggests taking out the central figure in order to disrupt the gossip network. And she realizes, oh, so that sounds like something you could do. And he says, if you wish it, it will be done. And then he's like, okay, yeah, I know what that means. I'm going to go ahead and show you my feet. I'm going to turn away. And he goes ahead and masturbates while she looks a great deal of disturbed, annoyed, conflicted, bothered, all these things. A woman of power who still has to deal with these fucking gross men. She is the queen of the realm.
You're right.
And she still has to do things like this to get information.
Dang. Yeah.
Like it just sucks. And
Oh yeah, it doesn't really show. Okay, wow. Um, like because is the building that they burned down, is that like Masaria's, like, was that their main house, or like what was that building that they burned down? Or like what, like who did they kill there? Did they kill, like,
I think it was Masaria's place.
is
But
it to be assumed that she's dead, or just that her
I don't think
place
so
is
because
burned
they
down?
don't even. I think that's like they're saying that that's like the head, like that's where the source is. So like they'll have to regroup a bit, like before they can keep spying.
Okay, okay,
Um,
fair. But
but
that person that walks out of the alley, hooded, like it has the little firefly or whatever bee, because he uses a bee in the metaphor here.
yeah,
But apparently it's a firefly in his stick thing, whatever. But I don't know. It kind of shows his face a little bit. But like, what is that? Just to be assumed, it's just one of their people
I
that they
think it's
cut
just
off the
one of the
tongue.
like.
It's
I
like,
think they already showed how they do these things. I think it's just to assume that he did that again.
I don't
Like
know. I just didn't know if it was Laris himself.
that'd be
You
cool.
know,
That'd be
like
fucking cool
it's him, that he's the one that's doing this, and because who would expect him
to
in
be
the
up
first
walking
place? You
around
know,
like that.
yeah.
But
Um,
yeah, that would be pretty cool. But next, over in Rhaenys's rooms, things are less peaceful. Eric comes in, takes down her guard, and unlocks the door, asking her to come with him. I cannot let this treachery stand. I'm going to get you to the Blackwater Bay and on a ship before anyone notices you're gone. They take the back passage that we saw Rhaenyra take to Daemon earlier in the show, and she was like, "Where are we? Like, how the fuck did we get here?" And he's like, "Well, we're down on the other side of King Street," and they're thwarted in their attempt as the people of the city are rounded up and shepherded toward a spot where Aegon will officially be dubbed king. The crowds mass, all heading towards the dragon pit, and Rhaenys takes notice of this after she was separated with Eric in the rush of people, and this is where Otto announces Viserys' death. This is a most sad day because the king is dead. It is also a most joyous day because Aegon will rise. There's a little bit of applause, just a little scattered, like, yeah, okay, we don't really give a fuck. Then the fuckboy walks in to great fanfare. They all line up, and as he makes his way down, Aegon is brought up to the stage. Rhaenys sees her opportunity to sneak out without anyone noticing, out a side door and downstairs.
instantly knew from that, like,
Yep.
and it didn't hit me on like how she would
Just
bring the
rise to the
dragon
floor.
out. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I know she's going to get her dragon,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like, I didn't think, oh, she has to get the dragon out of the pit somehow. Didn't occur to me then. But
Yeah,
I
she
will
goes,
I
"Why not?"
will say, for how much of just a dick and douchebag Aegon is, his entrance kind of went hard. Like
It
the
was a very,
music,
very, like, this whole thing was a very, very cool scene. This whole coronation was fucking awesome. The way they placed the crown atop his head, and the way it's like Kristen who does it, I thought that was
yeah.
interesting. And
I mean, I think Aegon, like, slowly, like, at first he doesn't really care and he's like looking around, but then like as he's being introduced, like, or as Otto starts talking, like saying like a new day for our realm, like he starts to be like okay, like I'm kind of into this, and like you see him, like, as it just goes on more and more, he's like, oh, you know what, I can actually get used to this.
I think it was a distinct moment because I don't even know it was a gradual progression. I think it was a flip on the dime where, the crown's placed on his head and he's hesitant. Like, he doesn't even turn around and look at the people. Like, he just stands there, and like, the crowd slowly applauds. And it comes to this. He asks his mother on the way to this, do you love me? And she goes, you little fucking jackass.
Eesh.
And so, as soon as a kid who has never had love from his parents sees that this role will bring him love from the people, the cheers grow and grow and grow, and he goes, oh, okay. Yeah, so if they're not going to love me, they'll love me. And he lifts his sword in glory. And that sword is fucking pimp, by the way. What a fucking clean sword.
The whole fit.
Oh,
is nice.
He's rocking a good look. Fuck Aegon till the day I die, but he's rocking a good fit. But yeah, that was the most alarming thing about this episode, was the moment that he started to smile. I was like, fuck.
Ominous, man.
Yeah, I was like, he's going to like his role as king, and I don't want him to. But then all of it comes to a quick end when the middle of the sept, or the middle of the dragon pit, bursts open. And a dragon flies through it, just bashing, stomping, laying waste to 1,000 people-ish, give or take.
How many people do you think died right there?
It's got to be up there. It's got to be a lot. Because not only are we looking at people getting thrown, but the amount of people who probably fell through that hole, the amount of people who were crushed by debris when she burst through, the people that were stomped on by the dragon, like, there's just a lot going on there. And look who it is. It's Rhaenys. She and Meleys were the beast beneath the boards. And, you know, she stares down the new king. Alicent standing in front of Aegon, which I loved. You know, she stepped up and was like, stand behind me. Helena grabbed Aemon's arm and stood behind him.
Oh,
and
yeah?
There's a few things there where it's like, okay. And Alicent draws near Aegon, bows her head, ready for the Dracarys. But instead, Rhaenys goes ahead and yells at them loudly, kind of scares them, and the dragon goes ahead and flies on out of there, right through the door too. I thought she was gonna like bust that shit and like kind of send it collapsing. I loved the way that like Otto was like, open the doors, and the guards were like, no. What does that imply?
Yeah, were they
trying to save themselves and they're in trying to just trap the dragon in here? Like,
yeah, why would, or is it more of like that they wanted the dragon, that they wanted like them to die?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was
you know, is it that, or is it we can't let this dragon get out? But like, why?
I couldn't tell you, man. I was kind of confused by it. I think it was like a panic thing, like your instinct when a giant creature is inside of a building and can get out. I think your instinct is to go ahead and shut it in there.
Fair.
But nevertheless, like I think it was just chaos.
Yeah, that is
panic.
interesting. I didn't think about why they were closing the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just assume it was because of chaos and panic and just kind of like sheer ignorance, kind of. But
why Otto's screaming for them to be open just so that the dragon flies out? Like, does he just want the dragon to leave, or just so that people
can escape?
Okay.
I don't think the dragon gets trapped in here under any circumstances. If she wants the dragon to get out, he'll burst right through the fucking dragon pit. Like I don't think there's any question about that. I think Otto truly was looking out for like the people here and was like, open the fucking doors. The people need to get out. And maybe it was like, maybe if we give them an opportunity, they'll leave, like, and stuff like that. But I can't tell you enough how much for the life of me I wish Rhaenys would have just ended this shit.
We were all thinking it, you know, like I really thought for a second, like, and they played that that little rumble in the music they do whenever Dracarys is said. The little they played the little rumble and then it was the yell, so it was like, you know, you were like, whoa.
When she burst through I can hear it in my head, but I can't remember if it was what they played it in the moment. The Dracarys theme, that like that shit that played every time Daenerys got on her dragon and flamed shit, like triumphantly.
I'm listening to it. No music. It's just the chaos right now.
Okay,
no
cool.
music at all. Cool. Is it like whenever she starts
like,
to stomp up and face them?
I was projecting. I was projecting it onto it. Like I can hear it in my head. I don't think they actually. Oh wait, did, though.
No. Yeah. No. You're right.
Oh, they play that.
I think you're right. Yeah. No.
Okay. Cool.
Maybe not exactly, but it has a very strong influence. If not, if it's not it is.
They were like, that's the thing, is that they were pushing me down the road to believe, oh, she's gonna flame these and like that's kind of what I was thinking, is like, oh, how crazy would it be if she flamed these motherfuckers? It kills Otto, Alicent, and like maybe Helena and Aegon, but then Aemon's just like standing there.
I didn't even think that they could have lived through that.
Well, they might have. You never know. Like
Well, yeah, you're right, because Daemon is who are his parents both Targaryen?
Brother and sister Targaryen.
Okay, yeah. So,
but that's the thing, is that like we just don't like. I don't even know if that actually works that way. You know, like Daenerys' older brother had the same parents as Daenerys. And he could be burnt. Granted, true. I mean, it was a golden cast that someone pointed out online that covering half his face was kind of a mirror to Viserys' mask, his golden mask, covering half his face. I was like, oh, that's kind of hard. But yeah, Rhaenys' armor in this scene too. Whoo-wee. She was looking fire.
Is that just like down there on the saddle?
I think like, you know,
that's sick. Like you put on your flight suit, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Went full rebel pilot and shit. But fuck, man, I loved this episode, and like talking through it. Maybe I'm like higher on it than I was after watching.
Yeah, it was damn. You know, yeah, it was good.
It was really good, you know, and I still find myself like not missing something. I obviously would have loved to see Rhaenyra and Daemon, but I don't know what they would have brought to this story besides ruining the pace of it. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like they did exactly what they needed to with this penultimate episode. I just think when it comes to penultimate episodes, what would have made this the impactful, oh, this is the Game of Thrones penultimate episode we're used to, is if she does let loose and flame some motherfuckers, you know, like then it's like, oh, this is an episode 9. Yeah. You know, like
I don't know. I think it was like supposed to be important that they weren't here. Like they're at Dragonstone. Like Rhaenyra chose to leave and her father died. Like, and Alicent was like, no, like don't go. Like please stay. Like all of this, like I don't know.
They decided to leave is the only reason they have the opening to do any of this.
Yeah.
Like it was just terrible timing on all sides, and like there's a really, really good chance Rhaenyra's not even back to like I know for a fact getting back to Dragonstone takes longer than a day. She hasn't heard about this yet. She doesn't know her dad's dead.
Is Rhaenys going to get to Dragonstone before Rhaenyra?
There's a distinct possibility.
Is that where Rhaenys is going immediately?
Yes. Yeah. She's going straight there, telling Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
They
where else
ascended
is she
Aegon.
Go?
Like, there's a really good chance Rhaenys is the one who informs her of everything.
Oh, I think it shows it on the next on.
Yeah, like your dad's dead.
Yeah.
They sent Aegon up the throne. He was coronated. I think we're also going to get a nice mirroring coronation for her in Dragonstone.
Yeah, dude, in that table. Have you seen the next on? Oh yeah, like Rhaenys, like she says, like at the very beginning, the Greens are coming for you, Rhaenyra. and for your children. And like they're in the what's that? Is
War
there
room.
the war room? I thought it had a name. But man, that table when it showed like the overhead shot of it, like all lit
Legendary
up and
shit, man.
stuff. Oh,
I was like,
um,
oh my God, we're back in the Dragonstone war room planning battle. Because like that's what we did with Daenerys and Jon at the end. That's what we did with Stannis Baratheon whenever like
mm,
all throughout Game of Thrones. I was like, oh my God, I love this war room so much. But
mm,
it's where Stannis and Melisandre conceive their shadow baby.
dang, yeah, damn, you're yeah.
But nah, man, I thought this was such a strong episode. I think that next week we're looking at an even like a finale, like a banger of an episode next week. Um,
Mm.
I'm
Winterfell?
absolutely ready. Yeah,
Let's say
Jaciris.
Winterfell.
Yeah, Jaciris is heading up to Winterfell to ask for help.
Whoa.
They're calling their banners, man. That's what they're doing. Like next
Oh
week,
shit! It's that big. Like
yeah, we're going.
it's
We're calling
war.
our banners.
Like
People are coming from other kingdoms, and we're like we've got. I'm hoping that Rhaenyra has the North on her side. Like
it would make sense. Like
if she
with the
has the Stark,
Marion. Yeah. Oh come. Oh, that's just. Oh, and maybe there's the connection. I don't know. I guess like how did what's John's dad's name? Is it Aegon? Is it an Aegon? Rhaegar. Rhaegar and Lyanna, yeah. Like how they got together. I don't know, like how the Starks and Targaryen, you know, how
well, the
if it was
Stark
like
and
an arranged
Targaryen history we
marriage or
know is fucking it's marred because Ned's dad and brother went down before the Mad King and got fucking slaughtered. Uh, Meanwhile, Lyanna went off with Rhaegar and they got married. So it's like there's a lot of confliction there in the Stark, and that's the thing though is that if the Starks are anything like we know the Starks of the Game of
Mm,
Thrones era, he made a vow, he swore fealty, he will not break fealty. You know, like I'm hoping that we get the Stark name the way we know the Starks. You know, I hope he's not like, oh yeah, but I don't want to do that. You know, I
yeah.
hope he's like, I'm sworn to do this. I think that would be a very, very cool little
Mm.
connection. But
Oh, that's sick. We're gonna wow, going to Winterfell. It's kind of I didn't see that whenever I watched the next on for the first time.
well, what's cool too is that next week I think is going to be like I think we get like we'll get one battle. I think, and not even really a battle. I think it'll be like a dragon versus dragon 1v1. But meanwhile, it'll be everybody else going to find their bannermen. And then like
Mm.
I don't think war really starts until season 2.
Yeah, that's kind of what it seems like. Because like, what's the What is the big? You know, is it a death that it ends on? Is it a you know, like what do they leave us with? What do you think like the big culmination is? Um
My big prediction is that Lucerys dies.
Lucerys, and that is the
Younger brother to Jaciris and the middle son of Rhaenyra, because they also have Joffrey Targaryen
okay,
or Balerion.
and why?
Because it is going to be him and his dragon versus Aemond and Vhagar at Storm's End. I don't think that works out for Lucerys.
You know, a real David and Goliath fight there, but um the Goliath wins here.
I gotta think so. Because and hey, if not, fuck yeah, I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd love for Lucerys to live, but that's my prediction right now is that Rhaenyra loses her son, and it's gonna suck. It's gonna hurt. Um,
Mm. And that's just going to further divide them again.
yeah.
Okay. An eye for an eye. That's why Amy takes off his eye patch
Mm-hmm.
in the I wonder, I don't know, for a effect? Or what
Probably.
is it? It's not like a reveal. It's not like, oh look, I have a laser eye. No,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's fucking technologically advanced, just like shoots people, and it's like, wait a minute, what the fuck are we getting into here? Season 2 of House of the Dragon will be sci-fi. We get like a cyborg dragon. No, but you ready to throw a rating at this bad boy?
oh yeah.
Alrighty, so we've got a few things here on our rating. We got enjoyment rating out of 10. That's just how much the episode resonates with us on a personal level, completely subjective. We've got genre rating, how well it fulfills its genre, and this is that fantasy shit. And it did pretty damn well again this week. It also had like a thriller element to it this week, which was really exciting. And then we've got critical rating, which is just all in all the filmmaking, the acting, the writing, the direction, the score, everything that goes into this, and this one becomes objective there. We take the average of those numbers, and it becomes our overall rating for the episode. So not completely objective. We've got the enjoyment factor in there, but that's what gives it our little Penny Bloom flair. So let's start with enjoyment. How we feeling about the penultimate episode of House of the Dragon, Season 1, The Green Council?
He asked me at the beginning of this recording, say more of like a 9-ish. I don't know, I'd say, but the more I talked about it, the more I really enjoyed it, and surprisingly, like, it did very well without Rhaenyra and Daemon. So I don't know. Is it a 10?
For me, no. I still don't think I'm there. And frankly, I think 9.25 to 9.5 is more where I was falling.
Okay. Yeah, I
because
think
I'm looking at some of our previous ratings, and we gave 9.75 to episode 7, where Rhaenyra and Alicent have their face off in the middle of the. And I can't honestly tell you I liked this episode as much as that.
Yeah. Wait. Enjoyment wise, we gave episode. You said 7?
Mm-hmm.
We gave that a 9, or at least I have. All right, a 10.
No, we gave that a 10. Sorry, I was looking at
Oh,
film.
okay. So we. Yeah, no. Okay, so it's definitely. But is it better than episode 6 and 4? Because we gave those a 9.
Yeah.
So you're comfortably okay. Yeah.
I would still go lower than episode 7, higher than those. So I would find myself in anywhere in that 9 range. I'm kind of comfortable with. Maybe
9
split it.
I think 9.25 is fair.
All right.
Well, no, I mean it was like through. I don't know. It was a whole different kind of episode. I think 9.5 is fair.
I'll give
it's
it.
Not quite a 10, but yeah.
I'm there, bro. I'm there. But 9.5 in enjoyment, very very solid. Genre wise, I think this is a pretty damn good episode of Thrones. We got the elements of. A coronation, a race against time here. We got dragon action at the end, unexpected dragon action at that.
True. Dude, it had a moment. It had a moment. I don't know, is that it? Like this, every episode has a moment. We've had a green wedding. What do you call that? What is this? Is this have a name, you think? Well,
Beast beneath the boards.
Ooh. Is that what people have been calling it? Actually, because that's sick.
I don't think. I don't know. I think that's what it should be called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then next episode, we're gonna get freaking Vhagar just absolutely swallowing Lucerys' dragon whole.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Vhagar goes down, dude.
Yeah, we don't fucking know. We don't fucking know.
What if Vhagar goes down?
What then? What then?
Then losing his eye was not worth it.
No, not at all, actually.
Maybe that's why he takes off his eye patches. He's like, fuck. Now I really don't have an eye for no reason. Like, now I really lost the transaction.
True. Man, I don't know. But this one, are we at a firm 10 for genre?
I feel like if you are, you should be able to say it without hesitation. And there is a little bit of hesitation for some reason.
Then
I feel like 9.5 or 9.75 is kind of where I'm at. I don't know why though.
9.75. Let's go 9.75. I'm there with you. I had a little hesitation too. I think there's just an element of it that I feel like we're missing people. You know, like we miss first episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
first episode without Viserys, we don't have any of the blacks. Like we don't have anything there. So like
that we're used to such a massive story of interconnected webs, but this one was just a very straight and very clear shot story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not what we're used to with Game of Thrones. Like I think that's maybe what it is that like every other episode it feels so grand and so large, but this one was just very contained, and it was like just between the high towers, basically.
Right.
So, okay.
It was a strong one though, nonetheless. And filmmaking wise, I find myself very, very high on this one. Very, very well written. The acting was incredible. Claire Kellner destroyed direction again. It was so well done. I struggle to find something that I'm like, ooh, I didn't like that. Besides, the lingering foot masturbation thing.
Yeah. True.
It's like I feel like we got the point of that without going all the way there.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I think that could be said for a couple things. Like we got a whole sex scene between Rhaenyra and Daemon a couple episodes back. We could have got that with them just heading into the tent. We know what happens there.
Would you say that this episode is better than or as well made as episode 3, the second of his name? What happened to episode 3?
That was the one where Daemon fucked up the king crab, the crab feeder.
Really?
I think so. Yes.
That wasn't the Rogue Prince.
No. The Rogue Prince.
You're right. No, that was. You're right.
Yeah, episode 3 is where he gets informed and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go do this shit myself then.
Is it because that's a 9.5 critically? Would you say that this episode is on par, above, or below?
It's about there. I could go down to a 9.25, but I could also match it at a 9.5.
I feel like 9.25 is where this one sits. I feel.
All right.
Because like whenever you think of like the story, the complete story that was given to us here, like we got a beautiful story last episode with like Viserys' storyline coming to an end and getting all those bows tied up and then fucking ripped the last second. But that's just Thrones. And then this one was just kind of like shit stirring up. There's no like beautiful poetic kind of mirroring situation that's going on, as more, as it happens in other episodes. But it's just like
it was. I mean, like, and don't get me wrong. After that, it comes to a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's a fucking good episode of TV, Like we're not. It's just in comparison to other episodes of House of the Dragon, it's less than 0.5 worse.
Yeah, IMDb right now gives it a 9.2, and that's. It has 11,000.
That's
reviews already.
Strong.
Last episode is a 9.4, and it has 36,000 reviews in. So not that far off.
This makes it tied for our 5th best episode so far, because we got our top one is episode 5, second is episode 7, third is episode 8, fourth is episode 1, and then tied for fifth is episode 3 and episode 9.
There we go.
So that's 6 episodes of television that are 9.5 out of 10 or above. So
Damn.
that's a pretty great season of television. We've only got 3 that dip below that, or 2. No, 3 that dip below a 3 that dip below a 9. But
yeah, IMDb, the only ones that are 9s are starting at 7. Yeah, 7, 8, and 9 are the only 9s on IMDb. But episode 5 was an 8.9, so almost a 9.
And probably has like thousands more ratings.
Yeah, it's 40,000.
Yeah,
but
and there's also the fact that we incorporate our enjoyment of the episode, and that obviously gives it a little boost every time, which I'm perfectly comfortable with.
And there's haters. Wow, there's 1,100 people that gave it a 1, like to the episode, like just people that are just straight up trolling. So like, I wonder if they actually like keep that in the couch. I don't know, but they know what they're doing over there. Been doing it for a while.
This shit fucked. It
But,
fucked. No way around it.
Who's that dragon Damon singing to? Down there, it's the
Vermithor.
Yeah,
like that. I learned that via the book readers on Twitter. They're informative. Whenever I'm like, "Ooh, who's that?" They're like, "Oh, I know who that is," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you." Apparently that is Vermithor, who is or something like that. I might be fucking up that name, but don't come for me. I haven't met him. I've never read the book. Yeah, it's apparently the second biggest dragon in Westeros. Daemon is trying to wake him up to go ahead and ride him for this fight.
Does the dragon pit go bye-bye this next episode? Is this like what gets it to the point? Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, yes, the floor, but like the state we see it in Game of Thrones is far beyond what it is now. Like there's still a roof, right now.
The ceiling is the roof.
Yeah, there still is a roof.
Michael Jordan.
Still is a roof. It's really not even like a coliseum, really, in the state, though. It's really just like a couple of like bleachers. It really like is what it kind of looks like. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Vhagar and this whatever dragon could be the ones that do it.
Do it end? Yeah, I could see that. I could see that for sure. But man, I'm fucking ready. I don't know. I'm just ready for the finale next week. Can't believe we're already here. It's been 9 weeks.
Holy shit.
And 9 weeks we've been covering this show, and next week will be 10. And that'll conclude season 1 of House of the Dragon, season 1 of Fire and Bloom. You can bet your sweet little ass that we will be covering this for as long as it runs. Apparently, it'll be 4 seasons of 10 episodes each, according to George R.R. Martin. But I don't take anything he says seriously until it happens.
Fuck that guy. I used to.
He makes so many promises that just never get.
On, man, just give us the last book in Game of Thrones.
Apparently, he's hard at work on it.
Maybe his turtles that make every decision. I don't even know if they're still alive, or I don't even know if that's really true. If he uses turtles or whatever.
I've actually decided that I'm holding off on reading the books because if he does not conclude them, I don't want to read them.
That's fair.
I will read the books once he finishes the books.
Oh, I wish you're right. Yeah, I wish I would have never read them. If this last book doesn't come out, I would rather forget them than have read them. So, like you are complete. Do not read them until that book comes out.
I will not. And maybe one day I'll come to peace with the fact that it never comes out.
Maybe after he's dead, Yeah, like after he's dead and you know it's not going to come out, you can boycott it for like, a couple years. And then you're going to be like, you know what, I need to experience these books because they are pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that
Like,
they're brilliant books. I don't want to devoid
Yeah.
myself of wonderful art because
They are really
I didn't
good.
get the last bit of it. I can headcanon that shit. I don't care. But yeah, man. So this episode came to a 9.5 out of 10. The Green Council. I'm ready for episode 10, titled The Black Queen.
Oh.
Uh-oh, Rhaenyra.
Uh-oh.
I'm fucking ready for it.
Does that mean Rhaenyra is titled the Black Queen, or the current queen gets roasted and becomes black because she got fire, some dragon fire?
I think I really do think this is the last time we see Olivia Cook this season. I think whereas we didn't see Rhaenyra and Daemon this week, I don't think we see Olivia Cook or Rhys Ifans next week. I think
you think it's completely at Dragonstone, or you think she's just gonna she's gonna be like up in the Red Keep, just like?
I think she's just posted up. I don't think we return to King's Landing next week. I think we're
what? Really?
I think we spend time with Daemon and Rhaenyra. They go to call their bannermen.
I guess fair, yeah. Okay.
And that's just kind of it. Like, I think it'll take us all episode, but
you think it's just like, all right, we're about to go to war, and then season ends?
Yeah. I think we'll get like the first notes of war. Like I said,
I don't know. I feel like something happened. Like, spoilers for Game of Thrones season 1. Ned gets his head freaking, yapped. And you're like...
in episode 9, though.
No way.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, well... Oh, shit. I guess the
big
thing actually happened.
Is notoriously known for setting up the next season of activities.
Oh, shit. So maybe the big thing already happened.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that, this season's been nothing but big things, know? Like, it's kind of like... I think... There's only one example in Game of Thrones where I can think of the finale being like what the fuck just happened? And it was season 6 when Cersei blew up the Sept. Like, that's the only finale where it was like a truly massive event occurred, Other than that, it's usually pretty like, all right, that happened last week. Here's us reeling from it and setting up for what's coming next. And also Jon Snow dying in the season 5 finale is pretty big. Tyrion killing Tywin and Shay in the season 4 finale, pretty big. So like I said,
something has to happen.
Something will happen.
Someone will die.
I said, Lucerys will die. I think it will be Rhaenyra's son. I think one of Rhaenyra's sons gets killed, and I think it radicalizes her to go, yup, let's go then. You
think Aegon reigns for long? You think he...
I think he'll be the official king until the Dance of the Dragons is over.
Is it known how long this war lasts? Or is it until... Is this the start? Is the end of Game of Thrones? Like, is this the ongoing war? The Dance with Dragons, is that like, that's just until...
Dance with Dragons ends whenever one of Aegon or Rhaenyra or Jacaerys, I guess, becomes the ruler. And there's not a contention for the throne. Whenever we finally get to a point where everyone's like, yep, that's the ruler. Battle's over.
Because I was thinking, like, I didn't know if it was like, once a Targaryen was no longer on the throne, is that when the dance of, like, whenever the last dragon, is finally dwindled out. I'm assuming that's where it all goes. We know that's where it all goes, at least.
Right, yeah. We know the dragons die because of this.
But, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do next episode. If it is just simply setting up for war and get me riled up and getting, having me wait however long I'm going to have to wait. Do we know, like, is it known the release? Is it around the same time next year that they're doing this, or is it like not even next year?
I think we can expect to wait until 2024 would be my guess.
Oh, you're right. This takes so long to film. They have to build all this shit.
And apparently they're not filming until March 2023, so like I would expect it early 2024.
We're fucked.
We're fucked.
No, we got a plethora of content in between there, probably, right? Yeah, Marvel's got us hooked up.
Oh yeah, we'll have.
And Star Wars.
We will not be starved for content. We'll be doing our projects. Like frankly, like I've been thinking about like what we do TV show wise after this in Andor. I've been tempted to just, unless there's something that we're like, oh fuck, we have to cover it, to just take a step back from covering TV for a little bit. And maybe take the opportunity. I don't know. I had an idea. I'll spitball it for you real quick. Fire and Bloom doesn't stop. We do a Game of Thrones rewatch week by week.
Oh, thank God, dude. I've been like, I need to rewatch Game of Thrones. I need to after this. I'm going to anyways after the season's over.
And like, I'm thinking if we finish this season and we start Fire and Bloom Game of Thrones 101, the next week, it's 80 something episodes or 70 something episodes, because 60 for 6 seasons, 67, 73 weeks we'd be covering Game of Thrones. And I think that would take us roughly to when House of the Dragon season 2 can be expected. So I think it would be kind of clean.
What is the date? 73 weeks from now. It will be March 11th, 2024.
Okay. That's from today.
From today.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess push it another week.
I would say
April.
I would even say maybe push it to when Andor's concluded.
It would be nice to get it rolling right off, like season finale next week. Hey, rewatch Game of Thrones with us. Keep on the hype.
Okay. I could see it. I'd be down. I'd be down if you're down.
I'm going to rewatch Game of Thrones anyways. Now that I have to actually adhere to a schedule, it makes it even better. It makes me rewatch
if we were going to do
it. Once a week. Come on, dude.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then I guess that's the next project. We'll be doing that side by side with our.
We'll start the Excel sheet, baby. Let's go.
Get it. All right. Well, with that, we conclude this episode of Fire and Bloom, a House of the Dragon podcast. 'Twas I, Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. If you would, head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, including book reviews and comic book poll lists, a bunch of movie reviews, everything that I'm not talking about on the main show. It's getting talked about over there. It costs $3 a month, and it greatly helps out the podcast. I appreciate it so fucking much. This costs money, and I don't make any off of it unless it is over there. And then if you would head to Twitter, follow @PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram @PennyBloomPodcast. Let us know how you're feeling about the episode via Twitter, via Instagram, whatever. And, come back in a couple weeks and rewatch Game of Thrones with us. I guess that's what we're going to be fucking doing. I'll come back on Wednesdays for the Andor after party. If you're a Star Wars fan, we're covering Andor right now, and we will for the next few weeks until that's wrapped up. And then on Fridays, we're continuing our 52-year journey through film. This Friday brings us to 2012, and that is Django Unchained. So I'm very excited for you to hear that. It's a very, very fun one. Speaking of, foot fetish scenes, you got Quentin Tarantino there this Friday.
It all lines up, man.
It all comes
somehow
together.
It just all lines up
together. But if you would, remember, peace, love, and bloom. And always praise the House of the Dragon.